First I came to Hong Kong and it was just this like burst of energy and almost like chaos, right? Before you can like dig in and see that the city also has like the complete contrast, which I really love. When I first came here in 2010, I was looking around. We didn't really have so many, well, hardly any of the big murals. You did have graffiti writing, which was already in town since the late 90s. In comparison to especially a lot of the Western hemisphere, the graffiti and street art in the Western hemisphere, Asia is still so undervalued, I would say. You do have fantastic artists, you do have fantastic art being created, and hardly anyone sees it. I'm here continuously since 2017 now, but I first came, very first time was like late 2009, and then continuously since 2010. And I used to be a flight attendant. That's what first brought me here. And I met my husband early in 2010, and we, hit it off pretty quickly, and we got married in 2011. It was like, oh, we're gonna stay 2-3 years, and then 2-3 years just ended up to altogether 15 now, so, and it's, yeah, we're just super happy here. I still remained a flight attendant until end of 2017, and basically was working part-time in a sense of like flying 3 months full-time and then going back or coming back to Hong Kong and being here. Hong Kong preserved so many of its old traditions, which I absolutely fell in love with. Like one of my favorite holidays, aside from Chinese New Year, obviously, but it's the month of the Hungry Ghosts. I'm like, this is genius. It's so much better than like one day of Halloween. It's basically like a whole month of, like all these stories and local celebrations and bamboo theaters and people really living that local tradition and local culture. And I think that just really got me. It was this whole idea of like, you still have so much tradition, but you have modernity. I'm originally from Berlin, and Berlin sometimes tends to have these horrible summers, and it was one of those. And I was basically kind of like a little bit grumpy walking down the street. It was raining, hunched under an umbrella, and then someone had sprayed it in really big letters, like "This is really crap weather" in German. But I was like, this is amazing. Someone can read my mind. That was the moment when it started, which was around late 2009, 2010. Yeah, it reminds me of, like calming down, putting the phone away and actually looking around me. This mural was created in 2023 for HKeye Wall. This one was created by the German duo Innerfields, Holger and Jacob. So, but what is quite amazing about their work is they've really been working together as a duo since 1998. They started with classic graffiti. Graffiti is more about the writing itself. The lady just behind me, if you see, she is pretty much completely in her own little world, right? She is looking on her phone, and they kind of enforced the whole idea by putting her in a spacesuit. And so, but if you then pretty much look like from the phone, there's a power cable going there, and there's a little birdie who just snaps through the power cable. So it's this whole thing that we can all in a way return to nature. Specifically became part of the book well, because I really enjoy color-wise, but also the motif as well, so it fitted very well in. But the whole selection of the images, it's in a sense a completely different story, because I'm like, as you can imagine, I started photographing in 2010, and at some point I was just sick and tired of waiting, because I started and like I did the first interview in 2018 with the intention of putting it into a book or creating a book out of it. Mine is not just a picture book in that sense. But I tried to find a nice balance actually between storytelling, the story of the artists here, and pictures, so that you basically have both, right? Because obviously street art is very visual, and you need to see the images. The other thing was that I really wanted to give the artists, in a sense, a voice with their stories. Now I slowly start sending all the books out to all the artists that are in the book, because it's for Hong Kong, but it's not necessarily Hong Kong artists only, right? Because you had a lot of international artists passing through. These days, it's more kind of like a reverse culture shock when I go back home, right? That it's like, oh, wait a second, why is it so cold? Or why is the metro just not working or something? It's just, again, I think it had to do with this whole transitionary period that I did have the time to just slowly grow accustomed to, how different it would be. It became almost kind of like normal to be in between the world. It didn't take long until it really felt like home. Nothing is better or nothing is worse, it's just different. And I'm still trying to approach it from that angle, wherever I go. If I'm, I've tried to be open-minded and try to stay curious and just really look at the things and really tell myself if I don't understand something, it's just different, you know, and if you dig into it and learn about it, you know, you might actually find the attraction and the fun in it. Take the time to look at local life as well. I think that really kind of like helps with travel, but also when you settle in a new country. Because my husband is an ABC, American-born Chinese, and it was super lovely because we went to a temple, and I'm like, so why do you always use like 3 incense sticks, right? Why not 5? Why not 10? And he looked at me and he's like, good question. You know, it has always been that way, right? And it's just so funny because it's like, if you grow up with something, then it becomes so natural that you don't even think about it. But to me, everything was new. At some point, my husband again as well, he was like, you know, you're spending so much time out there in the street, chatting with the artists, learning about them, learning about their techniques and you know, their lives, taking so many pictures. So you already spend so much time. Why don't you actually, you know, create a tour out of them? I'm like, you know what, that's actually quite a good idea. And it really also grew again out of this passion and the curiosity, because for me it's like, it's always, I mean, art always speaks to you in a certain like very unique way. And took my Hong Kong tour guide license, and I was like, it needs a name, and Wanderlust was just kind of like a word that people kind of like the joy of walking around in a sense, right? That people understand, and so that's how Wanderlust started. When we do the tours, it's really about, you know, telling them about the backgrounds of the artists and giving them the story and the creation and showing them how images were created. So I hope that it's really that what I can do with the tours and also with the book, to just, you know, fill in the gaps here and there and just really help people to just go out there, be curious, discover, have eyes open, be mindful around their surroundings, and just enjoy it.